Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Blessings to all of you. So when we look to our life and we ask ourselves, what is the thing that makes us happy? Then we think to relationships, we think to money, we think to all kinds of things. But in fact, happiness is completely independent from our outer circumstances. As long as we have the means to be able to have enough food, to have shelter. These two things, they have to be there. Yeah. And as we say, a little more. Let's say most of you have reached this point, especially most of you who listen to such videos. And yet most people think, I need something else, I need more money, I need to find the love of my life, I need to have a career, I need to make a job that fulfills me, and so on and so on. And in order to attract that, there's only one way, and that is that you come in a real contact with yourself. That means that you start to speak to yourself honestly. Last night I was sitting with some people and we were talking, and there was one that always said, oh, my heart, my heart, my heart. And I said to him, did you ever speak directly to your heart? Did you ever address your heart and said, for example, thank you, my heart, that you always work for me, that you always are there when I sleep, when I'm conscious, when I'm sick, whatever, you are always there. Yeah. And he said, no, never. I said, try that. Start to speak. When you speak to yourself, address first your heart. And look what happens to you when you start to address your heart. What is your emotion? What will you feel when you speak to your heart directly? This is love. You will feel love, you will feel a kind of peace because you come in contact with your essence in a way that is actually located in our heart. So when you start not to only speak to your heart, but you start to speak to your organs. Maybe you have a problem in a certain organ. Maybe you have liver problems, you have kidney problems, you have prostata problems, you have heart problems, of course. It is good to speak to your organs, to speak to your senses also. Let's say you have a difficulty in hearing, you have a difficulty in seeing, you know? And you can talk to your eyes. You can say to them, look, I need to see better. Make it better. Make it to let me see better. Make it to let me hear better. And if you do that consistently over a certain time, there will be the problem. This is the fantastic thing, because we all know that the spirit is stronger than our body, right? But we don't know how to use it. So you use it basically, first of all, in talking directly to your body. You address it from your spirit self. Yeah. You address your body. And the other thing is to understand that the happiness is a result of your own connection to yourself. There are so many people, they have insecurities in themselves. They have trust issues. They have all kinds of these issues. Why? Because you do not relate. You do not develop your character in a way that allows you to have trust. Yeah? That is the main point. If you want to feel trust, if you want to feel respect, if you want to feel fulfillment, you have to go and give it to yourself. That means you need to develop a lifestyle that allows you to trust yourself. If you fall down here and here, if you develop bad habits, if you smoke, if you drink, if you take all kinds of substances you shouldn't do, there will be always a leakage there that doesn't allow you to trust yourself. If you lie from now and then, yeah, if you hide things because they cannot be really shown, you will never be able to trust yourself. That means you will not be able to trust others. It's as simple as this. So the highest satisfaction comes when you start to develop your own personality, your own character. And we call this the path of excellence. You become excellent with yourself, you become spotless, you try to correct the tiniest things. You know? And of course, we start with the basics, and the guide to it is just radical truth. As well as Jesus said, and the truth will set you free, right? It will set you free. That means you will be free from fears, you will be free from doubts about many things, because everything that you don't want to correct in yourself, you will project it to the outside. You will see it in others. And this is the reason why we cannot trust, you know, or why we cannot find someone, or why we cannot attract the right work for ourselves. The right work will come when you are in the right place. The right partner will arrive when you are in a good place with yourself. This is how it works. Everything is reflected in our universe to ourselves. For this reason, we say in our tradition that every brother, every sister is a mirror to you. You know? It mirrors us. You cannot mirror any other thing, because we can only see what we project. Right? There is no objective see, there is no objective relationship. It's always filtered through your own personality. Right? And following this path of self-development, of self-correction, of self-observation, of self-correction, of self-excellence, will bring you in a place where everything becomes magically ordered. Yeah. Try it out. Yeah. Look a habit that you want to correct it, and you will see that another thing happens. If you have a habit that is not really beneficial for you, yeah, your soul will support you in the things that are beneficial. Of course, if you say, I want to do it, but you don't really want to do it, because you're not really true with yourself, you're not really addressing yourself in the depths, then it will not work. Because you cannot win over yourself if one speaks against the other. Let's say you're smoking. You ask yourself first, do I really want to stop? Yeah. And if there is a no, then don't start to try, because it will not be successful. But if you hear, yes, I want to do that, you will do it. And it will be successful, and it will be easy for you, because you get support from your most inner self. And that applies in every aspect. So always ask yourself first, am I really wanting it? Am I really ready? Yeah. You should not expect always a total yes, you know, because otherwise there would be no effort, right? It would be just falling from you. That's not going to work as well. But you feel it. If it is a yes that allows you to go further, or if it is a yes that says actually, yes, or no, then it will not work. Especially this year, this, we said it before, this is a seeding year. This is where we seed and where we reap. So where you seed well, you reap well. It's that simple. It's always the same thing. It's the law of duality. And this law cannot be bypassed. Yeah. Also very important to understand. Yeah. So all this thing that everything is one and we are all one, please leave that aside for a while. Yeah. Understand you need to discern very, very clear what is right for you, what is wrong for you. Yeah. That is the beginning of awakening. If you put it under a mental cover that says everything is one and it doesn't really matter, and you quote Rumi, yeah, that says, meet me in a place beyond right and wrong. Yeah. That doesn't mean that he just jumped from right and wrong to this place. That is not what he meant. He mastered right and wrong. And so he can do the next step. It's that simple. So live this life of excellence, live this ethical life that we need now to prevent the worst on our earth, if there's anything that we can prevent, but at least we should try. As Ibn Arabi said, do the necessary, try the impossible, right? So the necessary is always speak the truth, act good, speak good, feel good. That's how it is. So I hope this gives you a clear understanding and a clear path to experiment with it, and you will see the results very quickly. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.